In the previous episode of the Cottage World solo series, we set up base in a small seaside town, took our first dive into the caves below, and, while exploring the surrounding area, we stumbled upon a magnificent fleet of ships, which we promptly converted into a basic trade hall. In today's episode, we're designing the flagship of the trade fleet, busting the Nether, and finally getting around to building our first proper house. So I lost the footage from when I did, raid this pillager ship, so I guess if you had wanted to see it, you should have checked me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Mazriel. That's where I stream, as much as I can for this world. But coming up here to the main deck, you can see that the normally pillagers would have been all over the place and then just charging. But we can come up here, see that here's the helm made out of this really fancy note block thing. Come in here, look, ooh, captain's quarters. There's a lot going on here. I think it was really well built. I don't know if this is part of Young's mod pack. I'm not sure what mod pack this structure comes from out here on the ocean, but it's really, really well built. And this is why it served as the inspiration for our main flagship. You see like a little treasure and ore space over here. You can come in here, we have all these big cannons and everything. You see more storage space. And then you can come downstairs and look at it. Oop. I don't know what's happening there. There we go. And you come in here, a bit of a crafting area. You can hear what sounds like a lace. Yep, we have like this horrifying prison place. I guess we'll keep them in there. More storage into here. It's a bit of a sleeping area. And this is where, it looks like you would have had some farm animals. And then you might have missed it. You might miss it if you're not careful. I just happened to see it because, on stream we had somebody come down and attack us from here. But look, this other, eating area, the second deck. And this is what leads to up here. My initial plan when I wrapped episode 1 was to build a large boat next to the fleet to serve as a first base, create factory, and all around storage and crafting space. And that's when we got to work kind of converting this into that. And now, we spent a few days on stream designing it, and I have to say I'm extremely pleased with how it turned out. To maintain a similar structure to the surrounding fleet, we used Axiom to grab a copy of the nearby pillager ship and scaled it up by about 1.5 times and went from there. Now, I like to think that the pillager ship back there was stolen from the nearby fleet and they're pirates fighting around this ocean monument, and maybe that can inform how we end up building here once we eventually bust it. You have no idea how difficult it's been to just kind of dip in there and see what's going on while here in my creative world, but I haven't. I'm saving that for you guys. But here, this is the changes that we've made. And you see, we've made some pretty significant ones, both to the overall aesthetic as well as to the shape. We've added this big glass bay window, these big moving paddle wheels, which I think came out really, really well. So we have the water wheels here that powers the whole rotation, and it's all glued here. And we can see here, this is just the particle effects from one of the mods. So we put a single block of water onto the glass pane, and it makes it look like everything's splashing through. I just think it all came together really well. It's very cool. We have these big 3 wind turbines, one on each mast. And not only does it add a lot of just dynamic movement, even if it makes no real life logistical sense, we're a rule of cool builders here. As long as it looks really rad, which this does, it's staying in. But yeah, it sends power all the way down to the lower decks in order to power create contraptions that we can build on the ship. And of course, we changed the emerald for the big duck, the same one that's on my back. And I think, we have to represent. We see we also added a bit more texture using the windmill sails here in the sails, and that made everything just kind of pop a bit more. I think it all really came together. And the coloring here, the texturing that we're using on the ship, that is subject to change once we get access to more complicated blocks. You can see up there is a color field I made using the Axiom mod. And that's just the thousands and thousands of blocks that we have access to. So I'm excited for that. If we come up here to this tall stationary one, this is kind of where I did a bit more of the interior. We can start up here. You see the helm of the ship, which we made out of a water wheel and, some cartography tables, make it look like we're navigating here. Not a whole lot yet. I will eventually just add more once we get this into survival. I didn't need to do 110% of it here in creative. Then we come down here, the captain's quarters. Very big and empty. I'm missing the glass panes, but again, that's something that can definitely just be done in survival. Keep coming across the deck. You can see that we went ahead and redesigned these cannons, made them a bit slimmer, better defined their shape. And I think these came out really, really well. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with those. And we have this, and I kind of envision this being kind of a greenhouse, planting, new and interesting fruits and vegetables, etc., to help showcase that these guys are travelers that go to far out and exotic areas. And that's why they're so successful as traders. I think that just adds a whole lot. It really makes this look like an explorer ship, almost like a submarine. And using all of this modded glass to give us these different texture without ever like really breaking the block palette. I think that came out super well. We come back across and we can come into here to the ship's storage system. Now, the storage system here makes heavy use of extended drawers, which is awesome and an amazing mod, because what it means is that we can connect all of our storage into one easy to get to place, drop our items into it, and each of these drawers will store a lot of items, like more than a double chest worth of items. Each little drawer does. So that is awesome and fantastic. It's just going to make dealing with all of these modded blocks that much easier to do. It's necessary for a mod pack like this. We come further down here, we can see the shafts from those masts run all the way down. We have all of our crafting benches here. That's subject to change. But yeah, I have a drawer access point. Like right here, I could dump all of my items here. It would go all the way up and get automatically put into storage up there. That's super awesome to know. If we're like down here crafting a whole lot, I can just dump it there and we're good to go. Come further down, and I gutted all of this. All of this was gutted out. It used to be 2 stories in here with the sleeping area and everything, but I figured we can kind of make it more of a big factory, and it just gives us space for us to make it ours. And that's continued here to the front of the ship. Yeah, we're not going to be building this in survival just yet. You'll see why. Let's just, jump to the next chapter. So let me think. Freedom. Let me think. We're going to run around in circles and think. We need logs, lots and lots of logs, and we need wool, lots and lots of wool. I don't know if there's like a good replacement to the wool farm in Korea. I really don't think there is. I think it's pretty much just shears and kind of like a dispenser setup anyways. Do we have any redstone? Did I ever pick any up? A little bit. We might be able to set something up because we need just a ton of wool for and yet look, I stressed over that for an embarrassing number of hours. We're not going to say how many hours, just know that there were a lot. And to summarize, I need even a basic farm stuff, our big 3, because you see we have quite a hefty list, and in order to make out this ship, we're going to need some stuff. First off, we're going to need our sails, and that's a sheep farm. So there are create versions of a wool farm, but they're kind of big and it's more for an aesthetic purpose. So we're just going to go the old-fashioned vanilla farm. So sheep eat grass, the observer sees the grass, that triggers the dispenser makes the sheep naked, and on the cycle goes. Bam, easy. Except for we need quartz. All right, we come over here, we need a wood farm, and the lumber farms in Create are pretty simple. They're really simple. It's fantastic once they're up and running. But I know where I want to put our lumber mill, and it's not at the mining town. It's a bit ways away. So I kind of want to hold off on that, but we also need some iron pieces and stuff like that for like the mechanical saws and bits. Iron farm. So you generate cobble, it gets broken down into gravel, gravel gets spit out to here, it gets washed by this fan, and drops either iron or flint if we're unlucky. We might end up with a lot of flint, and I don't know what we're going to do with that, but we'll have it. But we need iron, and in order to get any of these up, well, the first step we have to make to is the Nether. All right, guys. History is going to be made. Okay. I wasn't expecting this. Is that an obsidian tree? Cobalt nylium. Blackstone. Okay, this is blackstone. Whoa! Ah! I forgot about the whole, loading up crossbows thing. He fell from up there, though. Could there be a... Because that's what I need. I need a fortress. So... I guess we're going to go up. Whoa. Cool. This is why we don't throw out our netherrack. Ooh. Ooh. What's this red stuff over here? What is this? Redstone bud. So like a biome made out of redstone? How cool is that? Ah, he's angry at me. What did I do to you? Phew, I'm a sniper. You deserved that after attacking me for no reason, completely unprovoked. Look at this. Did these guys have resin before resin was a thing? Brimwood log magma. Look how cool this is. I want you, I want you, I want you. Give me. We are exploring the Nether, and I think this is so cool. Oh, that guy with his glorious halberd. Is that it? Ooh, I think that's our fortress. I think that's our fortress. Okay, so we can come from over here, straight over here. So I want to make sure this is as maze-proof as possible, the whole not getting lost thing. So right here. All right, I think this is about as safe as I'm going to be able to make that. A terrible fortress. Here we go. This is so ominous. Ah! I'm going to just shoot this guy in the kneecap. Goodbye, guy. Oh, modded fortresses. These hit so different. This is so cool. Oh! Why can't fortresses look like this in vanilla? No. Ah! Ah! I'm running away. That scared the bejesus out of me. That didn't work out. That didn't work out at all. Oh my goodness. I knocked a bone off of it. I wasn't expecting that at all. What I was trying to say, the create mod is in this, and it might be being smart. Because watch. Because that's a create. It is. That's super glue. Watch. We're going to press this button. Oh my goodness. Ooh, guys, am I a professional trap finder? This is how you do it. This is how you do it. I'm a professional. Look at this. My backpack and everything. There it is. There it is on that side. Now, we could just break through. But I'm curious if there's another way in. Because I like to sometimes try to solve these puzzles without, like, just vault a pickaxe. Editor Maze here. And as I look at the runtime of this video, we're going to go ahead and stop the whole nether busting thing here. We do enter the fortress. We do destroy it. Because we're very good that way. And, of course, we went and found a bastion. And we busted the crap out of that. I definitely didn't die. Don't go look at the VOD I have linked below to double check that I didn't die. Don't do it. It's just a waste of time, I promise. I'm a very professional duck, and I'm very good at this. I didn't scream like a little chick at all. Anyways, back to the overworld, so we can go ahead and get this video moving on to the next chapter. We're back in the overworld, and I'm kind of just taking a walk in the woods not far from our little town, and that's because I kind of needed to clear my head. As you saw earlier, we have a big to-do list, and it was starting to overwhelm me a little bit. And I was like, man, we just kind of need to slow down a bit. So we know we want to build a big boat, and that's for our fleet down that way. We have crop farms that need to go in the fields over there. We have stone and iron farms that need to go over there. The lumber farm is going way over there. It's a whole lot. And before we can get any of this done, we're still living in a house that we kind of just took from some poor villager, and we're living out of a chest monster just on the outside of it. We don't have a home yet. So I figured, you know what, let's do that. It'd be a lot easier to get things done if we had a more centralized storage. We had some, hello little bird, we had some crafting, and we just kind of slowed down and took this all one step at a time. I'm still kind of new to all the content creation stuff, but also, most importantly, I'm new to building at this scale. I don't have a good idea of how long it actually takes to build some of these stuff that I design in creative here in survival. And I don't want to burn out and completely just wipe myself out on before we even really get started. I don't want that. I want this to be a nice, long-lasting series. So let's do that. I don't think this is going to be big enough for like a full tavern, so I think this is going to turn into Maze's house. And I think what we might do... So I started with designing everything in survival, and that meant it was kind of clunky. I would build a house, break it down, build a house, break it down. It was taking a long time, so we finally shifted over to creative, where I use the Axiom mod to really speed everything up. And I really love how this house came together. I'm really excited to give you guys the full tour. And before we get to that, though, I needed dark oak wood at some point in the build as I was putting it together. And that meant I needed to run to get some more saplings. That's when we saw something a little strange, and we went and investigated it. I wonder why this is like this. If it's just not like... That says the ocean? Why is it like that? Did something get corrupted when I moved over? I'm gonna go look at that real quick. Alright, it looks like right over here, all of this turns into the ocean, and I wonder if that's a lie or not. Yep. Ooh. This looks like a chunk error if I've ever seen one. What do we do about this? Because I don't know if this will corrupt anything else. I don't know if this exists in my other one. Because that's huge. That's not just like a little bit of the world. It doesn't necessarily affect exactly like where we were building, but that's going to be... That's not something that like it's not ignorable. It's like everything that I had loaded at one point is the only thing that came over when I updated. I wasn't expecting this. Great, it's always a risk when you update, but like that's a lot of progress that I would like to not have gone. And this was going to get built pretty big. I was actually going to have quite a bit going through because I was planning a rail track and stuff. Because this is our base. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't necessarily mean something completely bad. Maybe we play with this. Maybe we use it. I'll have to have a think on that, but maybe that's usable. Maybe there's a lore we can come up with for that, though. Why is it just cut off like that? What are we doing about it? Maybe there's something we can use there? So luckily, this isn't too bad. This can get cleaned up pretty easily if we wanted this to look good. We're about to see just how bad this is. It looks like it's pretty rough, but that doesn't mean we can't still build and have fun here. I don't think it means we have to restart or anything. See up there, that's that village. I was going to turn that village over there into a giant lumber camp. That was the idea for that place. Or a lumber camp, more of a kingdom. Like a big lumber kingdom. So here's the idea, where we have this chunk error. And this would be far down the road, but the idea currently is to build giant robot-looking contraptions. Kind of make them look like an iron golem, if you will, but maybe a bit more overgrown or cursed or something like that. But huge, 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 where they're actually just like taking chunks of the earth out. And maybe it's just like this mysterious thing that nobody knows where they come from. They're just eating the world, and they have like nobody knows why. You can make some moving pieces to kind of animate it a bit and create. I thought that'd be an interesting way to turn this little error into a story and to kind of yes and the whole thing. So we're not just like looking at it and going, oh, it's ruined, and now we have to restart from scratch. But we really don't have to. We can just utilize it. I saw that, Mr. Drowned, you jerk. And then here we are back in the village, and it's been a few days since I recorded that last little bit talking about the chunk error, and I kind of still agree with past Maze. I think I'm onto something there with the giant robots eating up chunks of this world, and it's as a way to explain that error and to build around it rather than restarting from scratch. I'd love to hear some ideas of what you guys might do if you had faced a similar thing, or even ideas that you might have that, you know, to build here in this world. I'm all for it. Let's make this kind of a creative cooperative thing. But now that we're here, you might guess that I'm done. I did it. I built the house. There's no time lapse. I'm still terrible with replay mod. I won't apologize for it. I don't like the mod too much. It's kind of a bear. It's good for what it does, but I'm just not good at it. Anyways, look. on our house. I'm so excited for this thing. I'm so happy with it. I did quite a few different little techniques here. We kind of brought it out in that traditional medieval way to add our second story. We have here cobble, and a lot of this is using the chipped cobble, and they're just so cool how many variants you can get, how much different pattern and texture you can get. Of course, we've got what looks like little boards holding everything up. This is a craftsman's home. It's kind of been put together, slapped together. We've got some other bits and bobs to keep everything up in a more traditional medieval fashion. But if we come up here and around and get a big view, you see that the roof and overall shape kind of strays from that. I have a whole work area. We're going to look at that a little closer on a front patio. I just didn't want to hide it in a basement like I normally would. But this, let me know your thoughts on this roof shape. It's a little, the roof itself is kind of basic. I'd like to get this palette a little bit more. I'd like to do some highlighting. Maybe it was like warped planks or something, but I didn't want to go overboard for the first house. And I'm really happy with this larger beam coming across. I know it's a bit bulky, but I don't think it's bad per se. Yeah, I had some feedback on streams. People were saying it's a bit too thick, but I couldn't think of a better way to do it. And I wanted to do something that was a little different than a traditional medieval roof. And I think it gives it a bit of flair. This is going to be pretty much what sets our standard for the rest of the houses around here. This is going to be what sets the style. Might have one or two that breaks out of it, but for the most part, it's going to be this. So, we come in here. I'm a little framey. I am going to go ahead and turn off my shaders. I don't know if that's stuff happening in here. Maybe it's just kind of a part of the mod. I'm not sure. Well, yeah. But yeah, we come in here. And you can see we have blinds on all of our windows. We have this wonderful bit of furniture. I don't have wolves, so we don't have couches, but you know, we have benches and we can sit. Look at that. Kind of rest our weary feet after our travels. We have here a jukebox that plays all of our music discs that we've been collecting. There's quite a few. We've got an ancient vase that we collected from our better archaeology. These are some of the sea messages we've gotten. Over here, we've got this lovely kitchen, which I've loaded up with all of the fish we've been, well, I've definitely been fishing it and not just running it over with my boat. But yeah, all this fish, some different food stuffs. It's kind of basic, but it works. Very cozy. We have over here, we could make this into a door if we wanted a basement area. I just don't have a need for it yet. We come up here to the second floor, and you see, ooh, a little bit of storage, a bit of a reading nook. This is kind of some valuable storage and a bit of overflow stuff. You see, we have the drawers that we talked about when I was discussing the boat. And we've got mob drops and create stuff here. We got a bit more where we can do some overflow for bits and bobs. Here, we have our bedroom. And it's not a lot to look at yet, but we got some of our plushies here. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, watch this. We run down here, we eat our berry. And look up here. I'm going to get up on the table. Look, we got our plushies hidden away up there. Our whale shark plushie, a chicken plushie. I thought that was a very cute little detail. All right, back up to this. A little bit of a table. We have a place here I can drop all of my stuff when I need to. But coming out here, this is kind of the beating heart of it all. This is our crafting and storage system. This is what has completely replaced the chest monster that was out there. Now, granted, there's still too wide of a variety of blocks for me to like easily store everything. So we do have a bit of a chest monster situation, but it's an organized mess. You can see that. But for these, you got like redstone bits, a few mob drops, but redstone-y. We've got some ores. We get a bit more ores coming around here. And you can see what all of these are. And the way drawers work is, so look at like the cobblestone. We have so much cobblestone here. And you can see I've taken a lot of it here. And then I can just put it right back. And there you go. And you can see I have that for all of these different variants of the stones, all these different variants of wood and log types that we have. If we come around here, bam, so many saplings. This mod pack, if you like trees, this is a mod pack for you. It is a tree lover's paradise. And like, this isn't even like everything. We're definitely going to need to focus on a lumber farm and crop farms, because when we get those actual farms built up, like the crop farms out there, the lumber farm way out there in that other kingdom, we can store all the saplings there and get it away from here, because this is so much. But here we've got a little glass blower, so we can do some fancy glass. We've got a botanist workbench, the one for beautify and the one for chipped. And in here, you can see that I have the stone cutter. Under that, I have the carpenter's table. I just kind of thought it fit, made it look like the saw was moving, because otherwise the saw and the carpenter's doesn't. And we have the mason table, the chips, the two big ones for chip to get all these nice looking blocks and everything. And yeah, what I really like most about the cupboards is, watch, if I take this cobblestone and I open this, we can actually just drop it here and boom, it'll go right back. So whenever we have a whole backpack loaded up with stuff, we can just sit here and drop everything in and it will automatically sort itself out, or it'll just kind of find an open area and pop itself there. We gotta be careful about that. But yes, I am so, oh, and yeah, we got a visit from some pillagers more than once. They're still annoying, especially in this mode. This is before we have the potions and the changes from the trial chambers, so pillagers will still come and kill everything. It's very sad. I haven't had a raid here yet, but we did lose all of our villagers just to pillagers and zombies and etc. just walking through here. So we're definitely gonna have to repopulate. Luckily, I have a ship full of villagers over at the fleet, so it's doable, but sadly we've lost everybody. So we're definitely going to need to repopulate. We're going to need to get houses up for everybody. So we're going to be concentrating on that for this, to get houses up for all our little villagers. We're going to get concentrating on a small greenhouse so we can get some proper storage for all of our bits. Look out there. You see what I'm talking about? Every time. They never go away. And we're going to get started on getting a bit more structure here in our town. That's going to be coming up in the next episode. I'm so very excited for it. If you've watched this far, I know you're loving the series. Make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know what you think the name of this town should be. It's a mining town. We've got the quarry down there. We have the ship dock that's going to be built over here. And you guys don't know this yet, but right here, look, right there. I haven't explored it yet, but I found it on stream the other day. That's a mine shaft. That's a mine shaft, which means we are going to want to connect all of this to down there somehow, whether that's going to be a small bridge here or maybe a very large bridge here from that hill to this one. That would be super cool. And we're going to have the dock come in through here and up and around here. So I'm very excited to build all of that. Lots to do, but once we start getting these farms up, we'll definitely be able to get done with it. And as always, I'm very, very excited for it. Thanks for watching this far, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Don't forget that town name in the comments below, and I'll see you. Ciao.